Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Madison Charlton from MLC Tech, and now today we're going to be discussing whether this could finally be the year of Windows on ARM-based processors. And this comes following the announcement that Google has launched official Chrome builds for ARM-based Windows platforms, with it being expected that this Chrome for Windows on ARM should be able to hit a stable release build by the time Qualcomm launches the Snapdragon X Elite later this year. So sit back and relax as we discuss whether Windows will finally have its ARM boom this year, with Google bringing native support to ARM-based Windows platforms. Now, Google Chrome and other Chromium-based browsers out there has been a bit controversial recently with the big debate on privacy, but this browser is finally landing on a new platform, and that is Windows on ARM. Now, of course, Chrome is already on ARM-based devices such as the MacBook and is also on Windows already, but this is a native version that runs on Windows 11, designed for ARM-based processors, so there will be no emulation required. It'll be running on the bare metal of these ARM SoCs. Now, Google hasn't officially made this announcement yet, but thanks to an ex-user, Pedro Justo, he was able to spot that the first Chrome Canary page now quietly hosts binaries for Windows 11 on ARM. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Chrome has been around for such a long time with native support for the x86 version of Windows. But it's important to note that there's also been some open source variants of Chromium-based browsers out there which have been able to run on Windows ARM for quite a while now. But the official full release of Google Chrome has never been supported on Windows on ARM until now. But what does this mean for the future of ARM versions of Windows? Now, Windows may be a huge platform, but Windows on ARM is not quite the big platform that it could be. Now, Apple's switch to the ARM architecture has been a massive revolution in terms of power efficiency and also compute performance that they've been able to get out of macOS, and also massive efficiency gains bringing great battery life performance to its laptops. And now, in the wake of that massive seismic shift that Apple made when they switched over to ARM-based CPUs, the interest of ARM-based versions of Windows has picked up dramatically. A big turning point will be the release of laptops with Qualcomm Snapdragon X Elite SoCs, as well as Qualcomm's exclusivity deal with Windows ending this year, allowing more chip developers to bring ARM-based solutions to Windows platforms. But quickly jumping back to the Snapdragon X Elite, assuming that Qualcomm sticks to its pre-launch plans, this could mark the first ARM on Windows chip to be in the same performance class as Apple Silicon. Previously, before that, Windows and ARM could only run Chrome as an x86 app via a very slow translation layer, so getting the world's most popular browser to natively run on Windows on ARM could be a great deal for the launch of this SoC and the future of Windows on ARM as well. At the moment, it's hard to tell what the future of Windows on ARM-based SoCs will mean. Will they be able to actually pull it off and have their Apple revolution moment? Or is it going to be something that's going to be short-lived in the news cycle for this year, with Microsoft still needing to make further refinements to bring this to the mainstream masses? Now, on a hardware level, it looks very promising with the launch of these new ARM-based SoCs for Windows, though the only problem that I see with this approach is Windows itself. Now, it's great to see more developers take steps to make apps run natively on ARM CPUs and on Windows for ARM as well, but the problem is at the moment, not many people have native apps for ARM-based SoCs on Windows, so this is going to be the massive adoption issue, and especially currently with the translation layer that they have, Microsoft's implementation of an x86 to ARM translation layer is very slow and, quite frankly, very poor when we compare it to the likes of Apple. Their Rosetta 2 translation layer was absolutely brilliant, translating x86 over to ARM. Rosetta 2 was a great translation layer and made the transition over to Apple Silicon so much easier, and much easier for the mainstream to adopt this approach, as they were still able to run all of their x86 and legacy apps on their new M1 based MacBooks and MacBook Pros, etc., without taking a massive performance hit and noticing a massive slowdown in the workloads, as all the apps they use slowly transitioned and upgraded to run natively on ARM-based SoCs. So a significant amount of work still needs to be done by Microsoft to make this a viable option. I have great faith that they will be able to. Whether they can this year, on the other hand, is a different story. We can only hope that Microsoft has some tricks up their sleeves for this year, but I think in terms of mainstream adoption, we're going to have to wait till the following year until there's more options on the market and more app developers are running their software natively on ARM SoCs and Windows as a whole, as well as Microsoft putting in some more of the work themselves to bring better performance and a better layer of translation over to Windows on ARM to make that transition period a lot easier for a lot of people. If they're able to have a translation layer comparable to Rosetta 2, then I think that Microsoft could have a good roadmap up their sleeves, though it remains to be seen what Microsoft will do over the coming year. Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions on this story in the comments down below. What do you think of Windows on ARM being brought to the mainstream masses this year? Do you think it will take off this year, just like how Apple's transition to Apple Silicon was almost 4 years ago? Or do you think that Windows still needs to mature itself on ARM-based SoCs in order to make this massive leap and transition over to ARM-based SoCs? The hardware and the building blocks look very promising, but it's just whether the software experience itself can be refined to the mainstream masses, opposed to just purely enthusiasts and developers. Anyway, I have been Madison Charlton from MLC Tech. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it in any way, shape or form, make sure to give this video a like and maybe subscribe for more content like this in the future. Thank you once again for watching today's video, and I hope to see you in another video soon. Goodbye for now.